Ladies and gentlemen, live and in color, in the building. It's no question. The talent is here, which means greatness is here. The truth is here. Uncut truth is here. Whether you like it or not, we're in the building. Welcome to the Cowboys OG Podcast, in which you have three of the greatest of all time right in here. Great gentlemen that know what they're talking about. I wouldn't have it any other way. At the top, in that first square, you see my fraternity brother, the Newt himself, Cowboy Joe. He's in the building. Put your hands together, crowd. Thank you. Ain't no doubt about it. He ain't least cause he in the center. He just in the center because you got to put greatness in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Every run goes higher, lower, whichever way you want to go. The philosopher, the great B Bird in the building. Put your hands together for him. Ain't no doubt. And I don't need no introduction. Y'all know me. This little big time over here. We call together. It's almost like the Justice League. It's like Marvel Comics. It's like the X-Men coming together. We're in the building, y'all. We here. And we're here to talk, of course, our team, the beloved Dallas Cowboys, as we talk about the latest news and give our own perspectives about what's going on. And we already know what some of y'all want to talk about. But as you come in, before we really get started, I need all of you that are in here to go ahead and hit that share button, that like button, and just share it out to all your Cowboy groups, your Cowboy hater groups, everybody. Hit that like button on the share. We're going to change it up, gentlemen. We got to put our cash apps up here underneath the names on these shows. And some people be asking about that as well. And we'll go ahead and put it on there. Finally, I see somebody done commented. We had a whole bunch of folks there. But hello, Mike Brown, Mr. Burns. I see you, brother. Appreciate you popping in. Let's go ahead and get this B-Bird in the show. He's talking back to y'all. There you go. Well, glad to have y'all tonight. Cowboy Joe, what's going on, brother?
Man, good to see you guys again. It's been a pretty interesting week, so I'm ready to chat it up.
Yes, sir.
Back on my brothers here.
Good. B-Bird in the house. What's up?
Hey man, it's great to be on with y'all, man. We made this thing happen today. We was kind of all over the place. I say we as in I was. So,
Yeah.
but hey, it's great to be back on. We got a big decision that need to be made pretty soon, man. And I think this decision is it's going to be very impactful for our legacy of this Cowboy team, and especially Dak Prescott. But yeah, that's about it.
Well, you took it that way. Okay. All right, let's go and crank this thing up. Ain't no sense in talking. Somebody say the Seahawks. Seahawks. He said the Seahawks are the best team in the NFC. Well, that remains to be seen. But one thing about it, y'all playing, we not.
That's right.
So y'all got a good shot at it. That's all I can say. We'll see about that. That's all we can say. Joe, as always, I always put we all put you at the top because you come out swinging. So I don't know what you finna say, but here we go. You got it, Joe.
Yeah, so we can start right there where Seahawks dog his comment.
Oh goodness.
I think what the Seahawks have done in the last couple of years, it's the framework for what Dallas needs to do.
Yeah.
They need to just rebuild the defense. They can do it in one off season. They need to go with a philosophy on defense and just stick with it. I think the type of defense that Seattle plays is one you can look at with Mike McDonald. And I think they signed some free agents basically in one offseason, including Tank Lawrence. So they're a model for us to look at, but you got to start with the defensive coordinator, and we're looking at the people they're bringing in. There's one person on the list that I think is a mistake that's going to happen again. They made the same mistake this last offseason. So we got to talk about Mr. Gannon over there on the list and just ask ourselves as Cowboy fans, do they ever learn? So that's my opening statement.
B-Bird?
Yeah, man. I think I even on one of our shows, I think I told y'all that I was watching the Minnesota game that we played, and I marveled at the defenses and the disguises and you couldn't tell what was happening until post snap. And Flores was the defensive coordinator, and I was talking to my son, and I say, man, he said, what? I said, this defense is outstanding. I said, they're not telling you anything until post snap. So at that time, our defense was already struggling. So I was like, boy, I wish we can get him. Now I say all that to say, if we don't interview him, that'd be terribly disappointing to me. And maybe some news have come out lately, but I know that he's interested in a head coach's position. He definitely deserves that. But if he doesn't get that this round, I mean, Washington Commanders still interviewing him too, so that makes no sense why we wouldn't. So I'm just kind of concerned about that. Do we have some criteria that we put in place that other teams don't put in place that limits us from casting a net as wide as it should be?
Wow. What you say, B-Bird, about about Flores, you gonna be what if he don't get the job?
Oh, I don't even know what I said. What did I say?
Did you just say that you gonna be upset if you don't get the coordinator job?
Well, not if he doesn't get it, but if we don't at least entertain or interview him or try to go after him.
Okay. All right. Let me go, since I got a Seattle Seahawks fan, if he's still here. Cowboy Joe kind of hit the nail on the head that your franchise, at least as of this year, is a great model to follow if you're talking about getting to the level where you guys are. And I'll go on the field. You guys have a top-ranked defense, but the other part that y'all have is two things. You have an outstanding offensive line, and Lord knows y'all got a good 1-2 punch as running backs. Mm-hmm. And what it did was, Darnold has had a real good year again, and they're still, for me, let me put it that way. I can't speak for everybody else. For me, I still think that the old Sam Darnold is going to pop out sooner or later. I just can't trust him, not me. But when you got a running game and a defense like that, guess what? You're going to win a lot of football games like that. So Joe was absolutely right when he said that. Just go to pick it back off that. I'm going to pick up on B. Bird's statement when it comes to Flores. And I'm glad B. Bird said it at the end. The Cowboys do not. They just, it's the same old pattern. I hate to be repetitive when we all come together, but it's the same old pattern. They never go for the best, or at least, reach for it. And I think it's universally known, at least in Cowboy land, that I think Brian Flores is probably considered the best out there. And as of today, there has not been a request made for Brian Flores. Am I right about that, y'all? I'm just trying to make sure.
And I may not be up on it, but
I think it's not. I get them all. I get them all. So I'm just making sure. There has not been a request. And so the fan base primarily and the pundits, the most content creators, and 105.3, 3.5, whatever it is, the fan, they've hollered out him more. But one thing that has not been done, if you want to know what the Cowboys feel, you look and see what they're doing. As of today, and they could call Brian Flores next week, who knows? But as of now, they didn't call it. But my thing would be, don't wait till the man start getting offers and potential places, and all it becomes now is a bidding war, because that's where he gonna go. But because the Cowboys are cheap, they're cheap in free agency, they're cheap and then I started thinking about back, and I talked to Coach Marv today, and what I heard was just the truth. I had made to say, Cowboys ain't never reached, in far as coaching goes, the last real good coach that we reached for had to be Parcells.
Yeah.
And before that, it was Jimmy.
Yep.
We haven't really, when Mike McCarthy came, even though he had a great record, overall record, he wasn't considered really the best. You know what I'm saying? We just don't reach for the best in nothing. We go get guys that you can get by with. And even if the plan is Jim Leonard, well, that just took a big spin today because of Jim Harbaugh and the Giants. Jim Harbaugh is getting paid $20 million a year, and the Giants have given him an unlimited budget for his assistant coaches. Well, that's bad news for the Cowboys if you're talking about Leonard, because Leonard and Harbaugh have more history together than Schottenheimer and Leonard does. That was documented today. I mean, they got history together. So, it becomes, I don't know Jim Leonard's situation, but I would think that, that got to mean something, especially if Harbaugh's coming after him. And then you look at the pieces that the Giants have on defense and the fifth overall pick in the draft. That becomes a very attractive defensive job. When you look at Abdul Carter, you look at Thibodeau, you look at Brian Burns, and you look at Dexter Lawrence, and then you look at the fifth pick. That all of a sudden sounds like a real good spot for Caleb Downs as a safety over there in Giant land. And the Cowboys, I don't know what they did. Did they interview him and just let him walk? And I'm quite sure Leonard had the right, to go explore. But Harbaugh coming to the Giants, 2 weeks ago, we weren't talking about that. But look who they got. Things have changed. I ain't saying the Giants going to win 10 games or so. What I'm saying is you got a proven champion in Harbaugh who has a nice pieces there. And what I'm saying is, if you want this defensive coordinator position done, you better go and start putting some foot on the pedal here. For real. And I'm talking about the guys who they keep calling out, the Leonards and the Bart Orrs and the Zach Orrs, I'm sorry. Zach Orr, all these guys. You got the Commanders. Dan Quinn interviewed Brian Flores.
Yeah.
What? Wait a minute now. Flores went and got him before we did? Come on, man. Come on. We don't have the urgency. Well, but then again, maybe they don't have the urgency because they don't think Brian Flores is the best. Maybe that's what it is.
Well, you know what?
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So the thing about it is that when you identify something of need, whether that be a free agency or a coach, you don't let it fall to you. You go get it. You go make it happen. And so if I needed a cornerback, and that was the thing I needed to make my defense a Super Bowl defense, and the market and the free agency opens, I'm not going to sit around and wait and say, well, I got 5 guys. The number 1 guy is there, but I'll just wait to see how it falls. I ain't got time for that. We are not aggressive in how we even do coaches. We let things fall to us. We let all the other coaches get hired off, and then we see what's left. But these other teams ain't doing that, man. They're identifying Harbaugh. They're identifying Flores in Washington, and they're going after what they need, man. They're saying, no, we need this guy. We're going to go get this guy. We're not going to say, well, we'll just take the 4th best one on our list. He's still there. That's how we do in the draft, if you really think about it. When have we moved up in the draft? We moved back in the draft. Yeah. And so what it is, we move away. We move more to mediocrity because that's what you get when things fall to you. Than we do in being aggressive and saying, no, I'm going to get this difference maker. This guy I know is a difference maker, instead of saying, well, I just kind of hope this guy, if everything falls right, this guy here might be. No, don't do that. That's why we get these coaches nobody else want. I've said this on people's show recently on chats. I said, we love desperate coaches because desperate coaches can't demand much. Mm-hmm. Also, desperate coaches got to adhere to the way they run stuff in the front office with the Joneses. And so they love people that don't have any leverage or anything like that. So that just falls in line with what they've been doing over the years, man, just waiting till things fall to them. All these names that they like going to start disappearing. And they're saying, you're going to have like guys that was at the bottom of your list left.
Go ahead, Joe, because Coach Marv is in the building, and I want to give a thing that he said to me earlier today on the phone call. It's gonna blow y'all mind.
Go ahead and do it. You can go ahead and do that now.
And I think this is a good place to fit it. And this is Coach Marv, who told me he did the research, and I looked at it afterwards. Jerry and Steven, man, they have cancerous type ways. You can have all the talent in the world, but in some shape or form, they are going to mess it up. This is what Coach Marv told me today. Coach Marv told me, he called me and said, hey, big time. I said, what's going on? We talked for about 5 minutes, and he went on his diatribe about this situation. And then he blowed me up. He said, Big Time, did you know that Coach Eberflus only had a 1-year contract? I said, wait a minute. Huh? He said, so the Cowboys didn't fire him. Notice the word, and they said they cut their ties. They didn't fire him.
Wow.
His contract was over. Wait a minute. Do you know that the year before that, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, Bree Bird, Coach Marv, since you in the building, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't the Cowboys coaching staff have 1-year deals?
They did.
Okay. All right. So right then and there, I come back with Coach Marv and we kind of saying really the same thing. Like, so this is a pattern, right? If you put Flus on for 1 year, you know, this proven and C-type mess.
Yeah.
Okay, well, watch this, y'all. If that is the case, what coordinator, and word travels around the league, what coordinator gonna come here if he ain't getting at least 2 to 3 years? I mean, if you're only offering a 1 year prove it and see thing, ain't no coach the caliber of Flores, ain't no coach the caliber of maybe a Zach Orr. They ain't gonna sign their best man. And I'm saying Eberflus just wanted to get back in the league. You were right, Joe. You were right, B-Bird. These guys just want to get back in the league. But if you coming after these real dogs, you have to sign at least get them for 2-3 years. At least 2. And in their contracts, they're going to get an option to leave anyway. It's just like, for instance, I personally don't want Brian Flores. I'm going against B-Bird.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why. Because if he do what I think he going to do, he going to be gone next year. He ain't going to stay here. He going to get a head coaching job. You get the Dallas Cowboy platform. You on TV every week. And if you we 32nd in the league in defense. You can't do nothing but go up. If he just jumped to 20, everybody was saying what a great job he's done, and he ought to be up for some head coaching. He could have got a head coaching job before taking the Cowboy thing anyway. If he turned this thing around, he gonna leave us, and we're gonna be right back in this same boat again. And that's why I love Flores. And so I know I'm gonna go against a lot of people's thoughts, but if he does well, he ain't gonna be here. He's not gonna be here for long. And I don't even want that. But Coach Marv messed me up with that today. 1 year? Come on, man. You didn't have no plans for Eberflus. You tried to get him the best as you could. But they didn't fire him. They let him go. The contract ended. Go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
So he brings up a good point, and I actually think it gets worse. So if he had a 1 year deal, there was no reason for you to keep him around week 10, 11. You could have just fired him and let what's the defensive coordinator's name?
White Cotton.
You could have let White Cotton. Yeah.
Or Nick Sorensen, the special team coach, the former coordinator for the 49ers.
So you could have just let White Cotton take over probably around game 8 or 9, because you were seeing everything you needed to see, which it was out there before the season started, but they didn't do any research on him. And then when they sent him up to the coach's booth, they could have just let him go then, because you really didn't owe him anything else. You could have gave that 2 or 3 weeks to White Cotton. But with respect to Brian Flores, I don't think you got to worry about anything, because he's not coming here, number one, because that sound you hear in the background is Jerry being priced out of the market as we speak with coaches. Yeah. So what's happened is there's 10 head coaching jobs open. So just multiply that by 7 or 8. So it's 70 or 80 coaches available out there right now, people looking for jobs.
Yeah.
So as you stated and B-Bird stated, a leopard doesn't change its spots. What they're going to do, they're going to just wait, just like they do with free agency. They're going to let this head coaching thing and assistant thing just kind of run its course for a couple of weeks. And just like they do with free agency, they're going to come back and they're going to get the second or third round or whatever coaches are left.
Wow.
I do think that someone like Zach Orr, so he was a coordinator last year for Baltimore. he may be in a position where he just has to take a position coach. So I think some of these coaches they're interviewing them for a system position. So, we'll see at the end of the day. What may happen is Zach Orr may be what you have, once everybody is hired, which would be good for him. And I want to talk about Jonathan Gannon, and we can go ahead and get this on the table right now.
Yeah.
One of the main reasons his name is being floated out and he's one of the top candidates is because he was a head coach with Arizona. If he gets hired here, Arizona is paying part of his salary. So that's the number one reason that he's up there where he is right now.
Come on, man.
But so there's it's a high school down the street from the Star. It's called Frisco Lone Star High School. It's a high school down the street from the Star. They could, on Monday, on Martin Luther King Day, they could go and hire a high schooler to just do internet searches on Jonathan Gannon, just to work up his resume. You could pay them $1,100, and that high schooler would put it all out there on the table for you why you shouldn't hire this coach. But that's not what they do. They're $1 billion franchise. They don't do that kind of research when they're hiring. It's all kind of based on money, big time.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna come down to that. Jerry does not believe in paying coaches. And
Yes.
so when you look at some of the coaches that we've seen, I got a question for you. How in the world did you go 30 years and you never hired Sean Payton? How did you go 30 years and you never hired Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan or the great Steve Spagnuolo, defensive coordinator for the Chiefs? The answer is they never wanted those guys because they have to pay them, B-Bird.
Yeah.
So it always comes back to that. But the list of guys that I've seen, I like Zach Orr. I just think Flores is not going to really waste their time. First of all, because I think Flores, wherever he goes, he's probably going to be the highest paid defensive coordinator.
Yes.
And Jerry's not doing that, especially not to him. And one of the things I want to touch on later is this culture that we talk about all the time. I don't think people understand just how much Jason Garrett and his culture is still with this team. They could literally hire Jason Garrett on Tuesday and they wouldn't miss a beat. So we got to talk about that whole thing, the right kind of guy culture. Brian Flores does not fit that. It's a square peg in a round hole. So that is not happening.
Let me throw this in before B-Bird jump in. There's another thing that I may be way off, and just in case there's some Cowboy aficionados that are watching or whatever the case may be. I think it's also an elementary thing that need to go ahead. And it's just me. You don't have to agree. In the chat, you don't have to agree. And my point is that Jerry Jones holds grudges.
Oh, no, definitely hold grudges. Yeah.
And he will get you out of here, or he won't even open the door up for you if he's holding somewhat of a grudge.
Correct.
The list goes on and on, from Dez to just Michael Parsons last year, the Amari Coopers,
Jimmy Johnson, all that stuff is personal. It ain't got nothing to do with X's and O's. It's personal. And Jerry holds grudges. He'll get you out. And somebody say, okay, what they got to do with now? Well, Brian Flores is suing the NFL. Jerry Jones, whether we want to admit it or not, is the NFL. In some shape or form, some of these lawsuits that Brian Flores has, I guarantee you Jerry Jones is involved in it. What kind of sense would it make for a guy who holds grudges to hire a dude who is suing essentially him and the owners and the people that run this league? It just don't make any sense. So I want to throw that factor in as well. It's just nowhere in the world that he would do something like that. That's just me. That's just me, just based off of the years that the evidence that we've seen that is not football related, is personal. And I got a feeling that, and it could, because it just makes no sense. If he the best, we ain't even requested to get an interview with this dude. Like, and he's taking requests for the defensive coordinator job. At least he did it with the Commanders. We ain't even picked up the phone. I mean, what kind of sense do that make?
it makes sense to me when he's one even on the radar in the first place. And that's really all I say. I'm gonna come back to that in a second, but at least not that part. Go ahead, B-Bird. I'm sorry.
So I definitely So you got 32 teams in the league. All of them are equipped with the same things. Coaches, players, everything. So the thing is that it's already going to be competitive. There's only one team is going to be at the end of the year. You want to be that one team. But when you have somebody in the front office that has grudges, right? You have somebody in the front office that's the owner, but acting GM, right? So he's owner/GM. I've often said this: you can only be one of those. So as GM, you're still going to be owner. So, people say, well, how you know he's not GM? Because the Dallas Cowboys are the most valuable franchise in the world and have the lowest paid coach in the NFL. He makes $4.5 million, and Harbaugh just signed for $20 million a year. So he didn't even. If people say, "Well, Ben Johnson wasn't gonna come here anyway," but Jerry didn't even reach out to him because he knew what his price was, $19 million. He runs this thing physically, financially well, but you cannot run it financially. Look, this what I say. It's like you're trying to win the best dress contest in high school. Mm-hmm. You can't be like, if I give my kid $500 to go buy an outfit, he can't buy 6-7 outfits and 9 shirts and all that and win best dress. No, you got to go after the one. And so when he makes statements like, well, I can get 4 players instead of paying 1. But what kind of players are you getting? There's a value attached to those guys. And so the thing is, man, what it is that we have 2 barriers we got to overcome. With Jared, we have to overcome his grudges. And we also have to overcome him just being cheap, man. Oh, now, do y'all know what the salary cap is on coaches?
What about defensive coordinators? I'll be curious to know what that is.
How about this? Let's kill it.
Salary cap. The salary cap.
Oh, salary cap. Oh no,
there is no salary cap for coaches.
That's right. So that's the one that tells you whenever they can always say pie and all that kind of stuff. Ain't no pie on coaches. It's just how much you want to spend. You can't even lie about that. It's just how much you want to spend. What they spent on the last 2 coaches, I think Mike McCarthy also made $4.5 million. That's why they got to go get coaches that's groveling for a job, because only one that's groveling for a job is going to accept $4.5 million a year when everybody else is at least making double figures. So this thing got to change, man. To be
before you jump off that, look at that statement Coach Marv just made. Look at that. I ain't gonna say nothing. Just read it.
So Flus is getting paid $4 million a year.
Yeah, Schottenheimer got 4.5.
Yeah, I mean he actually paid when he had Jason Garrett and Wade Phillips. He paid Jason Garrett around about that amount, but he was making more than Wade Phillips, which I've never heard that happen.
And he had a title, Joe. Remember, they called him the coach in waiting.
Yeah, but and look at what it got you. So here's the thing. So we're results oriented business. So I want to go back to. So I'm gonna talk about the Giants. And I keep talking about this. People hate me to keep talking about the 49ers. We got to talk about them here in a minute. Like I missed something. You guys got to educate me. 'Cause I was kind of off the grid for a minute. I don't understand how the 49ers got in the playoffs and they're winning, but we can talk about that later.
Wow.
So the Giants, we see what they paid Harbaugh. Okay. So the Commanders, and let's just talk about the Ravens and Brian Flores. I think he's going to have a good shot at getting that Ravens head coaching job. Mm-hmm. So their owner is Steve Bisciotti. So the Maras own the Giants. I don't know the new owner for the Commanders. I know Magic Johnson is with them.
Same guy that owns the Washington hockey team. He's got his hand and all this stuff. So so what's happening right now?
Yeah, and they building a new stadium. So what's happening right now is Dan Quinn is under fire. So he's been firing coaches. He's gonna have about 1 year to get it right. We see what the Giants did. The Ravens, we see what their standard is. What's happening with Jerry? While you're holding grudges So the NFL ownership is a fraternity, right? Big time. You can appreciate that. But what's happening with Jerry? These owners, they over here in this room, they're building their teams, like the owner for the Seahawks. They're winning playoff games. They're vying for championships. They ain't holding grudges. The Ravens don't care nothing about that.
No.
Okay. The Commanders don't care nothing about it. The Giants, we finna find out, they don't care nothing about that either. What they care about is winning. And the other thing that's going to happen with a lot of these coaches, we talked about this last week on our show. This idea that you got 3 or 4 years to build a team, you don't have that anymore.
No.
That's what was happening like 15, 20 years ago. And in this NFL that we're looking at today, you got about 2, maybe 3 years to get your team pointed towards a championship, divisional game, whatever they call it, and vying for a Super Bowl, because everything now is microwave. So not only does Jerry have his grudges, which is halting the progress of his team, he also doesn't have a sense of urgency. So he thinks that he can draft and develop for the next 3 or 4 or 5 years, and he's good, and he ain't got to pay. So that's the problem if you're a Cowboy fan. So I don't really know what they're gonna do. But the cancer that Coach Marv is talking about, you hate to say that, but I don't really see anything changing.
So based off that, and we all Cowboy fans, make no mistake about it. I know it sounds like we complaining, and we are, but we hitting y'all complaining with facts. Let me just go on, really stir up the controversy. Considering all the teams that have openings as far as head coach goes, is the Cowboy job really that attractive?
No, because you got some
head coaching. I'm just saying coaching. Period. I'm just saying. I know we talking about defensive coordinator, but
no, you got Cowboy fans right now saying they would just fire Shoddy tomorrow and hire some of these coaches that are available. But that's the dilemma that Jerry. See, I think Steven is really. I think I'm gonna say this. I think when Steven gets more involved, you kind of get a steadier ship. We've kind of seen that recently here. I think this thing just goes off the rails when Jerry just gets 100% involved. But yeah, I don't think the job is attractive as it was. To answer your question, I don't think you're getting the best coaches because of that. But what I always say for hopium purposes, I've been saying this since we started our channel, my son and I keep saying a broken clock is right twice a day. Sometimes you can just luck up into hiring good coaches, even though you're not paying them, like Zach. Or if you hired him as a coordinator or assistant coach, or whatever,
I'm cool with it. I'm cool.
You might just luck up and get it right. I think Shoddy combined with some other coaches, you could be that broken clock. The issue that you have is, I think you have a better chance of doing that if Jerry is not involved.
Go ahead, B-Bird. I got another question. Go ahead.
So the defense, I think the attractiveness of it is that the Cowboys play on national TV pretty much 13 out of their 17 games. So you're going to get, if you do good, it's going to be magnified. So I think that it's a good for exposure. It's definitely a good place to come to. Now, financially, it's really a stepping stone position for you because you want to get here, do well, and then move on. But I was just going to say something about, the clock being right twice, 2 times, because you're definitely right. But this is something I heard the other day, and I heard it in another context. They were talking about something else. So we have not been to the NFC Championship game in 30 years, right?
Mm-hmm. In the NFC, it's 15 years.
What was that?
In the NFC by itself, it's 15 years. We're the only team that hadn't made it in 15 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't have many, but we hadn't been in 30.
Right.
Do you know how hard it is harder to not go for 30 years than it is to go to the NFC Championship game? I don't know if y'all ever thought about that. It is harder to do what we've done. Like, it's more improbable to, if you just go by the odds, we should be in an NFC Championship game about 3 times in those 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
We had to go out our way to be bad enough to not get there for 30 years, man. That's crazy to me. Because if you just have Joe Smith, Mike Davis, or anybody else running your GM and your coach, your head coaches, you should be there. Just like they got some teams, man. Like Jacksonville has been there 3 times since we've been there. Carolina's been there. You know, some team that's real low on the totem pole has been there, but we haven't been there. The only way you mess up your odds is if you put somebody incompetent in position, and that's where we've gotten.
Wow.
Well, and just to expand on that real quick, big time before you jump in, the other thing that really puts you at odds with that, B-Bird, is the coaches that you hire. And so when you look at the last 30 years, the coaches that they've hired here, they just ridiculously bad. Like, and I hate to keep harping on it, but Jason Garrett and Rob Marinelli. So one of the names we're going to hear in the upcoming weeks is Jim Schwartz. He's one of the OG coordinators. If they had just hired Jim Schwartz as the defensive coordinator during the time that we're talking about, I think they would have made it to one. If they had hired Steve Spagnuolo, I think you make it to an NFC Championship game. So we can go on and on and on. We've seen Todd Bowles coordinate a team to Super Bowl. The stunning thing about Jerry is that all of these coaches that we keep coming up with, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, you got 30 years of just not hiring those guys, and now this is what you have. So to piggyback on your point, they just made it worse by the coaches that they've decided to go with. How does Jason Garrett stay your coach for 10 years? That's just I still don't get it. Big time.
Then Chat and Joe and Big Word, based off of, I guess, a lot of the evidence that we saying, and I'm quite sure you guys have heard all of the names that have been interviewed or they've been requested to interview. And some of these names I don't know some of them because I don't pay attention to the Packers, not to that level. The no position coaches and stuff like that. I don't know some of them. I'm quite sure they're competent coaches. But the names that we are hearing are not household names. So here's my question. And as much as 105.3 The Fan is pumping up Leonard, I mean, they've already pretty much just given him the job. That's what it's sounds. I mean, if you've been listening. I don't know if you want to put some stock into that, but they're closer to the Cowboy building than we are. Mm-hmm. So they very well may be hearing some things and just being real slick and saying things and shooting down other guys. Here's my question. Y'all think the decision has already been made and that some of these names that we're hearing are just coming in to be interviewed for position coaches? Because look, a clue has already been made. White Cotton and Lyndon Wells are coaching in the East-West Shrine game as Cowboys. So what does that tell you? White Cotton ain't going nowhere. Wow. He's going to be your D-line coach. Lyndon Wells is your tight end coach. So those two coaches are there. So I'm saying, I mean, and some of these names, they're not getting interviewed for a defensive coordinator position. They could do from the Packers. The brother. I don't know his name. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I don't know his name, but I'm saying like, who? Wait, what?
Is it Deontay Jones?
Yeah,
no, not Deontay. Deontay is a guy that came with Flores. So I'm quite sure wherever Flores goes, I'm quite sure he's gonna take Deontay with him. Wherever that goes, he's subject to be his coordinator. To be honest with you, if he takes a head coaching job. But I'm saying, like, I'm almost thinking and this is purely speculation, I'm thinking that the decision has already been made. And they just trying to fill out the staff because you want to go down, I keep saying it, for the college all-star games, you want to go down there fully loaded with your coaching staff. It makes no sense for Jerry, Steven, Brian Schottenheimer, and Will McClay to go, and you still ain't got your coordinator, because you can like whoever you like, but your coordinator comes in and says, well, I like this guy. And you see what I'm saying? And now you got to try to fit the program that your defensive coordinator likes. I think that decision's already been made. And I think that if we, based on what I'm hearing, almost every day, I wouldn't be surprised if Leonard is the guy, even though I know Jim Harbaugh and with the Giants now, throws a little monkey wrench in there. I just believe that things are already kind of settled. Even if it's or, I wouldn't be surprised either way it would go, considering that him and Schottenheimer coach together in Jacksonville. So they know each other. As a matter of fact, it's well known that Schottenheimer and Orr stay in touch. So that means something as well. Either way it goes, I wouldn't be surprised the decision's already made. And all these guys, they filling out the staff. That's what I think. I don't know. Y'all want to elaborate on that?
Well, big time. What you're saying, you're laying out a plan to where that could be the case. Can I pivot just for a moment and just ask y'all a question that, man, is on my mind? I don't want to get by this because it was a thing that was said earlier this week.
Go ahead.
Who do you think is making this hire? Is it Shotty or is it the Joneses?
Jones. If in the case, if it's Leonard, Stephen Jones loves Leonard. Shotty dealt with Leonard when he was a coach and Leonard was still playing and with the Jets. He's aware of him as a coach, but he's not tight with him. He is tight with Orr. But I'd heard Stephen Jones loves Leonard. And that, I don't know what Jerry thinks or whatever the case. And I'm quite sure Schottenheimer will come out and say all the good corporate answers and all that. But his relationship, let me say it like this. He has more of a relationship with Orr than he does Leonard. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not saying Leonard is not qualified. I'm not saying Leonard is not smart. I think Leonard would do an excellent job, to be honest with you. But to answer your question, it wouldn't be the Cowboys if Jerry and Steven wouldn't mess this thing up one way or another. It wouldn't be. I mean, there's no way in the world they're gonna sit on the sideline. There's just no way.
Yeah, I think if it's Jonathan Gannon, if he's the hire, I think it's Steven and Jerry, and it's just really all about the money because they're not going to have to pay him. And then I also think that they still have their hand in his culture part. He will be terrible for your culture. He's somebody that we got to look at it like this. When you have your first defensive meeting with the team and the coach is standing up there in front of the players, players, they're smart. They know what's happening. They can just look at a guy and just tell this he's not the guy. So Jeff Kavanaugh, he's on 105.3 The Fan. So Jeff has this thing where he calls it's something about the way the coach looks. And he said he can just look at a coach and just tell he's going to be successful or not successful. And he says Jonathan Gannon is the poster child for just he's not going to work. So, but that's the guy that they're going to hire. If I had to bet money on it, because that's what they do. Now, Jim Leonard, you're probably competing with the Giants at this point. A few days ago, they probably thought they had the Jim Leonard thing. It was just them, but there's so many coaches that's being fired. So, the agents, they're a fraternity too, big time. Yeah. So the agents, they trying to make money for the coaches and the players. Yeah. And so all of these coaches have agents. So the price is going up on these coaches, including Zach Orr. So Jerry may be getting priced out of this thing as we speak, and so you may just end up with the second rung or second or third level of coaches.
But stay with that, because
Mhm.
Joe, I'm sorry, B Bird, but stay with that. You're absolutely right. Come on, y'all. Let's think. If you're talking about Flores, I'm just using him because everybody love him. Flores was making $3 million in Minnesota.
Yeah.
If he's to leave Minnesota or take another coordinator job, what do you think you're gonna have to pay him? At least $2 million more.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the highest paid.
Okay, but if you pay him $2 million more, that's $5 million.
Yeah.
How is that gonna look when your head coach is only making 4.5?
That's why it's not happening here.
So I'm going back to what you said, Joe. If your starting range for your coordinator is going to have to be something way under Harbaugh, even if he's supposed to get somewhat of a raise, just to make it look good, so it don't look bad that your coordinator is getting paid more than your head coach.
Yeah, let me say this real quick. And we talked about this last week, and I'm gonna let you speak, B Bird. So understand everything we're talking about, guys. They can make a decision on Wednesday. There is no salary cap on coaches. They can come in Tuesday morning. They can decide that one, we're gonna redo Shotty's contract. They can absolutely do it. They probably have the money to do it, and then they can just decide we're gonna just pay Shotty more. We're gonna go after the top guy, whether it's Leonard, Flores, Zach, or whatever the case may be, and they can just change their culture, just change the way they do things. They can do it Tuesday morning. The issue with Dallas, Jerry, and Steven, that's not what they want to do. So, but they can do it. And so if they get back into a corner, they may make a sea change and decide they're going to pay coaches, because what's going to happen is if they do not change their culture, and it includes paying coaches, they're going to get left behind, guys. The Commanders, the Ravens, the Eagles, the 49ers, we talked about them. I talked about them earlier. The 49ers, and just look at the NFC by itself. The 49ers, the Eagles, the Seahawks, the Rams, they're leaving the Cowboys in their dust. That's what's happening as we speak. So what are they going to do, B Bird?
What you mean? Are you talking about the Cowboys?
What are they going to do to keep up with the 49ers and the Seahawks and the Rams? What are they going to do?
The thing is that again, we're running the 110 hurdles while they're running the 100-yard dash. Yeah. I mean, that's just what it is. We're putting our own hurdles in our place, man. I want to read this. Y'all may have read this, but I want to read this article. Fish had something in here that's kind of talking about Flores. He said, you want to change the culture? You put the gruff, no-nonsense Flores in charge. Want to create uncomfortability? Let Flores offer his 2 cents on the Cowboys circus and listen to him. When the fan tours march through the store, you think Flores is going to be stopped for selfies? Mm-hmm. So the concern with Jerry, he likes the culture that he's created. And when he cites uncomfortability as an edge, he's talking about the coaches and the players being uncomfortable. Whereas if Brian Flores becomes here, the uncomfortability victim might be Jerry himself. I definitely agree with everything he said right there. Jerry is the culture of the Dallas Cowboys, man. And he wants to be comfortable where he's at. But growth don't come from being comfortable, man. It goes from being uncomfortable. And you got to make yourself uncomfortable for growth. We're just not willing to do that, man. We're not willing to make ourselves uncomfortable for the betterment of this team. We want to be able to operate the way we want to operate. But like you look at organizations like the let me just tell y'all something I found. And I was talking to my coworkers last night. I saw, and I don't keep up with baseball. Y'all may keep up with it better. But I saw the Dodgers sign Kyle Tucker, which is the most coveted free agent in baseball.
Yes, sir.
And so I was talking to him as another fellow Cowboy fan. I was talking to him. I said, so you mean to tell me the team that just won back-to-back World Series still went aggressive and got the best player out there I said, and I heard some guys kind of complaining about it because I said, but are y'all fans of the Dodgers? No. I said, well, this ain't none of y'all business. This is the Dodgers fans' business. The Dodgers fans are good with it because all they're doing is making themselves better. And I said, this isn't even the most valuable team. The Yankees are. I said, but what they're doing is they're using their value, their edge, the money that they make with their local TV contracts to go get other players and continue winning and stacking championships. I said, I got a team that is the most valuable franchise in the world that won't go do this. They would never do anything like this. But it shows that when you're aggressive and you're competitive and you got to go kill your food to eat, you're going to go get it. The Joneses ain't got to go kill their food to eat, man. And it shows.
Wow. And I add to that, B-Bird, the Dodgers just won back-to-back.
That's what I said. Yeah, back-to-back. That's crazy.
And so what they're showing is when you go get a Kyle Tucker, who's universally known as one of the best in the game, it shows that you're still hungry.
That's right.
You're trying to win 3 in a row.
That's right. 4 in a row.
Yeah, you trying to win.
Yeah.
That's
they already got Shohei Ohtani, right?
Yeah.
He is the best.
They got Betts, they got Shohei, they got Freeman. They still got a great pitching staff.
Yeah,
now they add Kyle Tucker. I mean, they loaded. I mean, it's just as simple. But that's the mentality of a team that's hungry and still wants to win. I think Joe. I think out of all what we done said tonight, I think Joe done came up with something that's like beautiful. You're not hiring the best because you're gonna have to change everything up. You can't bring in a Brian Flores who's making $3 million in Minnesota, who's automatically gonna get a raise because he's gonna be in a bidding war, either for head coaching or even if he was just taking a defensive coordinator spot. You figure he's gonna get somewhere between $4 and $5 million. You figure that. Your head coach ain't getting paid that much, but for what, 4.5? It just don't look right. And I know you can bump Shotty up and all that, but it just looks wrong. And what Joe said about this dude that I don't even, the Arizona dude, Gannon, I mean, like, it'll make sense because you ain't got to change nothing. You keep Shotty at 4.5, get this dude about $2 million, and you good to go. Even though I'm saying, don't get me wrong, chat. What's up, Hen? I see Henny Moore from the liquor store in the building. Our brother in the building.
What's up, Henny?
So, well, I mean, but
they had a great show today.
The mentality is just horrible, and it trickles up from not only the way you do free agency. Is even in the coaches because you're not really trying to go after the best.
Yeah,
it's horrible, man.
Hey, I got to ask you guys this before we go any further. So we was talking in the backstage. So my son played little league football, baseball. My daughter cheered. I know you guys have kids that's been involved in sports. You know, you at the moment big time.
Yeah.
This coach for the Arizona Cardinals, he hit one of his players, punched him during the game. So just think about this. Just think about our own kids, our own family. If you had a daughter or a son, and at any level, you saw a coach punch one of your kids, or if you were an NFL player or a college player, and a coach punched the kid, would he be eligible to interview for another job? I don't think he would. So this guy, I think he got fined for it. He should have been fired. But what is going on with you if you want to bring a guy like this in and interview him? I'm disappointed.
I don't know him, so I mean I don't know him. I mean the Cardinals have never done enough other than have.
Let me read this.
That's the only thing I know about the Cardinals defense. Other than that, I don't know the dude. So I don't know nothing about him.
He's really a pretty average. So he did when he was coaching with the Eagles, they did go to the Super Bowl. They lost. They lost. So his defenses with Arizona was one of the worst in the league. His coach, this how bad the Arizona Cardinals are, B Bird. So Marvin Harrison Sr., he played on the NFL. His son plays for the Cardinals. Marvin Harrison Sr. said the Cardinals are so bad, he refuses to watch the games, although his son is on the team. This is a quote from Marvin Harrison Sr. So when you have Marvin Harrison Sr. saying this about a team, why would you be interested? His son plays for the team. He's not watching the games. Okay. Why would you be interested in hiring their former head coach? Okay. Only in Dallas.
There you go.
And then I wanted to touch on Brian Flores. I had to go.
No, Joe. Keep that in your mind. Let me stop you. Keep Brian Flores in your mind. Let me answer your question.
Yeah.
You say why? What did Jerry Jones say a couple weeks ago? I like the underdog. I like the guy who's getting knocked down. I like the guy that will coach with a chip on his shoulder. You'll get the most out of him. I like that. That's the kind of guy I want going to the foxhole with. That's the reason why they were hiring him. Jerry Jones do that. It's called the cheap way out. But go ahead. Go on, talk about Flores.
It's definitely the cheap way out. So Flores, I had to go back and look at his resume. I was really just blown away. I had forgot that. So first of all, he was with the Patriots 10 years, which I didn't remember. Mm-hmm. He's been on 4 of their Super Bowl teams. The last time they won the Super Bowl, it was the Rams against the Patriots. He basically shut the Rams out in the Super Bowl. They couldn't really score. So he was the defensive coordinator. So when I look at Brian Flores, he's basically a younger version of Belichick. So Belichick had the same type of resume. Belichick, he won the Super Bowls with the Giants. He went to Cleveland, and the people in Cleveland, the front office, they didn't really like him. He rubbed them the wrong way. You know how Belichick is. So he went back to New England, of course, probably the best coach ever. So Brian Flores, he doesn't rub people the right way, but at the end of the day, he's a brilliant coach, and he gets results. So I would say this: I don't see a scenario where Brian Flores or Bill Belichick will put their hands on a player. I haven't never seen it, because they know better, and they have a standard. Even though they rub people the wrong way, they have a standard. They have some integrity behind. And if you go back and talk to Bill Belichick's players, they really enjoy playing for him. I'm willing to bet you that you go talk to the Minnesota players, they enjoy playing for Brian Flores. Go talk to the Arizona Cardinals players, B-Bird, and just ask 3 of them what they think about Gannon, and you'll get your answer.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I was just thinking about when we were talking about what the Cowboys like to pay, it's almost it's almost as if they have a structure of how much they want to pay, and then they go find people that will fit into that or accept that amount of money. They won't,
or are desperate enough.
Yeah, the desperate part, desperate enough to accept that, and in that list, that's where they get the list from, right? You look at the head coaching position, they'll be like, okay, no, Ben Johnson, no. Why? Well, we only want to pay $4.5 million. He don't fit into that. So they don't go get the best player. They go get the one that'll fit into the one that best fits into what the salary that they want to pay, which is never going to be the way you're going to ever win in this league if they continue that up, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me answer Shane in the building this comment here. Person who makes the most money is not necessarily the best. Just look at Dak. He makes the most, but to be honest, he's not the best quarterback. And Shane is a Cowboys fan, so I ain't worried about that. Mm-hmm. However, that you kind of out of context on that one, Shane. When it comes to Flores, he is, at least in Cowboy view, and I'm talking whoever you like to listen to. I'm talking more than content creators. I'm talking about the big boys, the ones that work in the building. Everybody pretty much on the same page as saying, as far as defensive coordinators, that may be available, they say that Brian Flores is the guy, the man, out of all of that. Leonard is not the top guy. It's Flores. I want to throw another name out, though, that just makes perfect sense to me. Why isn't Raheem Morris' name being brought up more? He's not going to get another head coaching job. Never. But he's a coordinator, offensive and defensive coordinator. And he's a former head coach. And at this point, I don't think you have to, quote unquote, pay him a whole lot. You talking about somebody that's down. I don't know why, bro. Well, let me stop, because see, I'm finna get in trouble.
I would say this,
I'm about to get in trouble. Let me stop.
Let me say this, man. I just caught something when you said Raheem Morris, and then you kept going, and you said that hey, we won't even have to pay him a lot. I'm just still, look how our minds think.
Yeah,
we are the Dallas Cowboys. We're worth $12 billion, and we sitting here talking about what's not going to cost that much to the Cowboys. That's got to be crazy.
Because that's how they operate.
Yeah, they actually made us start thinking in that realm, because that's what we got to do. This is not the I always use Jacksonville or Carolina, or it's not one of them teams, man. This is if you did that for them, I could more be like, well, it's a small market team, you know, they don't have a lot of money, so they got to kind of watch their pennies here and there. No, it's a totally opposite of that. You know what I'm saying? And this is crazy that we got to sit around here and like the Dodgers fan, I'm going to that again. They just sit around and be like, well, we want him, we got him. They don't worry about all that kind of stuff, man. The Philadelphia Eagles, their fans don't know the salary cap like we do. We got to know the salary cap around here and all that kind of stuff, because we don't just sit up and get people. They got to fit into it and all that. It's really a shame what the Cowboys and the Joneses have put us, how they've conformed us to take those things into consideration when we shouldn't even be doing that.
Yeah, and I think
go ahead.
I think Raheem Morris, when all the dust settles, I think he'll get a defensive coordinator position. He might get a head coaching position. He's a good coach, but I think at the end of the day, it's just going to come down to money. I don't think that he's going to come here and now, of course, he's the same situation. The Falcons probably owe him money, so he would be a good option here. So we're going back into the competence part. I just think that we just have to wait and see, what they're going to do. If Shadi is calling the shots, to go back to your question earlier, big time, I think I feel pretty confident that Shadi's going to get a couple of good coaches here. I don't like the fact that he's interviewing Gannon. I ain't got to keep talking about that, but I think that you touched on it earlier, big time. I think you're 100% right. I think a lot of the coaches that they're interviewing them for system positions.
Mm-hmm.
So what they may be able to luck into doing is building a good staff. I think he did it last year with Connor Riley and Clayton Adams. We didn't really know a whole lot about those guys.
But Shadi picked them, though.
Yeah,
that's the difference. Shadi picked them.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So if he's able to have a big say in who they're hiring here, I think he may get lucky and just put together a good staff. But the window is closing. The prices are going up as we speak. And what the Giants did yesterday with Harbaugh, I mean, they basically B-Bird these franchises. And I don't know if you saw Steve Bisciotti, the owner of the Ravens, interview. So these owners, they have money and they're going to spend the money. The Ravens are going to get a really good coach. The Giants already got one. And so, but yeah, the Giants, the Cowboys got to figure out what they're going to do to keep up.
I hate to say this.
I think what the Giants say this real quick. I think what the Giants did is identify their guy and went got him. That doesn't mean that he's going to be great there. I tell y'all, I don't base my decisions on necessarily the outcome. I base them on the information I have now. They said, this is our guy, we went got him. When have we identified a guy or a player or whatever and went got him? We just don't do that.
Well, the Giants went in and since they're young and trying to own the come up, they made a great million, or they hit the jackpot. You gotta, you get a front office, you get a coach. They got one of the best coaches. There's a Hall of Fame coach. I mean, come on now. Harbaugh's going to the Hall of Fame. And he's a culture coach. He's already got pieces. You bring in a Harbaugh to that team, that's a great, great, great move. But just like you just said, that was the other than Tomlin, who I think he's already put it out, say he's not gonna coach this next year. So besides Tomlin, the going out to Harbaugh should have been what every open head coaching job should have done, at least interviewed. And that's what most of them did. He turned folks down and just wanted to, I think he talked about 3 teams. That's a great move. Now you got a guy in to know how to build a team. That's why that 5th pick gonna be good. You already got some foundational pieces.
Oh yeah, they do.
The Giants are on the come up, y'all. Yeah. So I'm there. Ain't no sense of, they may not win. 8, 9. They're coming. They're coming. It's gonna happen. He's too good of a coach. You know what I'm saying? And he's been good too long. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. So I ain't worried about that. I'm finna put y'all. I almost want to say this in my show. I don't want to. I don't want to get y'all in trouble and all that type of stuff. But
good
I got
content.
That. Yeah, it's real content. And again, it's speculation. I said earlier that Jerry Jones is one that holds grudges, and he does. The list go on and on. Y'all think race got something to do with this defensive coordinator spot? I know we got some Caucasian brothers in here and gonna have some people looking at it later. I'm sorry. If y'all don't like that, I apologize. But I'm going through the history of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Why didn't Al Harris get interviewed?
I don't know.
I mean, the turnovers between him, Bland, and Diggs when they were good, carried both of them to all pro level. Secondary was tight. Why we brought in Joe Witt? Why didn't we bring in Joe Witt? Why didn't everybody knew George Edwards back in the day? Great linebacker. Why didn't they get interviewed for this stuff? I'm thinking that when it comes, well, let me stop. No, I ain't stopping. When it comes to the black coaches, as far as defense goes, they are limited to just position coaches. They ain't got that. They ain't got it. They haven't. They're not serious candidates. They're not. I don't think Brian Flores is a serious candidate. Not for us, at least.
Yeah.
I don't, if I will come on this show and shut my mouth and say, I apologize. If Zach Orr is the new defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, I will get on here and say I was 1,000,000% wrong. But to be honest with you, when you rank everybody, Zach Orr is more qualified than Jim Leonard is right now. He just left Baltimore as defensive coordinator. Jim Leonard was defensive coordinator in Wisconsin. He's a position coach with the Denver Broncos right now. He's not a defensive. He's never called a game as a defensive coordinator in the NFL. Zach Orr has. Raheem Morris has. And shoot, the dude that Cowboy Joe talking about, he has been a defensive coordinator before Jim Leonard. I'm saying, like, wow, even if you hire Leonard, you better have a great staff around him, because why are we experimenting? We got a 2-year window, 2-3 year window. We ain't got time to develop. We got to hit this ground running. I'm wondering. I'm just saying. Y'all ain't got to comment. Y'all ain't got. Matter of fact, B-Bird, stay away from it. Stay away from it.
No, you know,
don't stay away from it. I'm just saying.
I don't
say this was my show.
I don't stay. I do it on mine too. I don't stay away from it because you know, hey, it is what it is. So let's talk about Dak Prescott for a moment. And this is my thought process. So Dak Prescott comes in here, saves the season that 1 year. They go to the playoffs, but then his contract comes up, and it's we're gonna franchise, and we don't really, you know, we ain't ready to commit. Then he goes on to show out again. Then what they do again, they franchise him again, right? And then he ended up every time they've paid him, they've been reluctant to pay him. But his stats have always shown that he's one of the best quarterbacks out there. But why are y'all reluctant to pay him? Because in y'all mind, he doesn't look like the quarterback that y'all envision to be leading this team. And I'm saying look like, I mean color. I mean, I definitely think that had something to do with it. If that was a white quarterback, they'd have jumped all over him. I even go back to Parsons in the offseason. Hey, let me just say this. If anybody want to refute this, they can. Everybody that's drug through the mud, they've had bad negotiations and it fell out and all that kind of stuff. They've never done that with a white player. It's always been black players.
And if you count Zach Martin on it, don't even count that. That was a 1 week thing.
Well, it's 1 week, and then Zach was the one that really should have got it most because he had a contract. He wanted to cut up the tab.
Skip line. Skip line, yeah.
So the Michael Parsons deal this summer, hey, let me show you something. Jerry wanted to show that agent something too.
Bingo.
What color is that agent? And so Jerry don't like that guy's the top agent in football. You're gonna show him something. Let me show you how much you disrespect him. He won't even say the guy's name. Wouldn't even try to say the guy's name. And then Michael Parsons, he's not one of those guys that's gonna just be quiet about stuff. No, he can't handle that. Hey, how he gonna tell me what to do? This is my see. That's now you get into it, and also too. Again, that's why the thing that gets me is you've never had a contentious negotiation with a white player. You've never had one, but you've only had them with the black. And part of that is because the fan base will kind of side with you against the black players. We just talking now, right? They're gonna side with you. They ain't gonna side with you against Zach, and you know that. That's why you ain't gonna go at him hard. Okay, here's my other theory. Jason Witten was brought back to break Dez Bryant's record. I'll go to my grave saying that. That's the only reason he came back. Because they didn't like Dez Bryant having that record for the most touchdowns. And I was cheering against him at the end of the year when they was trying to feed him the ball. And anybody want to say this, you wasn't just there on that picture, just looking on that segregation picture.
Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for the time and thank you for your effort tonight. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let Cowboy Joe go. We got grudge being one hurdle. We got the salary being another hurdle. Then we might have race being the third hurdle, because these are things that we got to overcome for us to get to where we want to be at. So these are, you can't have that many hurdles. You got to be, man, they got folks, you might not want to get Brian Flores because he's suing them as a defense coordinator. They got guys interviewing for a head coaching position. They don't care. They're trying to win. They don't care they don't care if the guy's purple or gray. They don't care what color he is. Bring him in here. We're going to help me win. Nah, but he got to look a certain way, be a certain way. That's the thing that gets us in trouble, man. That's it for me, Joe.
Yeah, I think you're on point. And one thing we got to talk about coming up here is this 2 or 3 year window. I don't think they're going to pay Dak again. I think this is it. They're going to. I think they'll do a restructure, which I'm not sure that's actually, when they do a restructure, does the player actually get that money, or is it just moving numbers around?
They move the numbers around, and what they do is they'll restructure it. It's like, for instance, They're gonna have to do that with Dak.
Oh, they're gonna have to do it.
Because it's $75 million.
Yeah, 70-something million
on the cap this year. So they're gonna restructure. What they'll do is probably give them a big signing bonus and make the cap number be whatever they want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The cap number may be, I'm just throwing it out there, the cap number may only be about $3 million on cap this year, which means that Dak will get a $57 million check right then and there. And the cap would be $3 million. I mean, they could do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To answer your question, they got to do it with CD as well.
Yeah.
CD's cap number is huge as well, and it's the same thing. But go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
So yeah, I think you guys are on point. That was my biggest disappointment with Jerry in the last 30 years was the way he handled that Parsons thing going on the media tour that he did,
Correct.
and the comments he made about the agent. And I actually met the agent at an event we was at. And so, yeah, it's you got to put all of that into the equation. I think at the end of the day, what we're talking about here is all of these things are just roadblocks for them to get to where they need to be. And when you go 30 years and you haven't made it to a championship game, it's not talked about enough. These guys are doing press conferences, end of the year press conference. In the meantime, the 49ers, they're about to go again. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, they got to look at, they don't have much time. The clock is ticking. They got about 2 weeks maybe to get this whole thing figured out. And because, man, they're going to get left behind. So hopefully Shadi does have some input on what they're doing there. And to your point, to both of you guys' points, when you see guys get this job like a Zach Orr, if he gets this job, you're going to know that he's not going to have 3 or 4 years to get it done. It's not going to happen. Now, Gannon, he would get, more time. But now Zach Orr, some of these other guys, they're going to come in with a really quick plan on what they're going to do, because I think Jerry and Steven, they kind of see the writing on the wall. They may be at the point to where they're going to make some changes. We're going to see when is the combine thing you were talking about, big time. When is it? The
East West Shrine game is at the Star on the last week of this month.
Okay.
The practice starts, coming up, and then you also got the Senior Bowl that happens right after that. That's in February. That's before, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's before the Super Bowl. So it only makes, and keep in mind, the Cowboys now have an inside track to some of these guys is going to be at the East West Shrine game because they're going to be coaching them, so they get to talk to them.
Yeah.
They get a little ahead of the game before the combine, and of course the draft process goes. You kind of get a chance to put your hands on them and talk to them. It's important that you go and get this thing in order now. But like I said, and Joe, I think you agree with me. I think that they just getting. I think the decision it's got to be close to made. I think that they're building this staff. I believe that's what's going on. I think that whoever it is, well, who would you like on your staff? If it's Leonard, if it's Orr, or whoever it is, they're saying, well, who would you like? Do you already have guys already that you're thinking about for position coaches? And the dude obviously gonna say, yes, I already got guys on speed dial. Well, who are those guys? We'd like to bring them in and talk to them as well. I think that's already, what's going on. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So what Henny and Landlaw from Alabama were talking about on their show today was we're at the point now where we're just basically saying anybody but Gannon. So they're kind of setting things up so that if it's not Gannon, as Cowboy fans, you're going to be fine with everybody else. And that's kind of where I am too. I think if it's Zach Orr, I think they're going to be competing with the Giants for Leonard, and the Giants are going to pay him.
Yeah.
But so it's going to be, I think you're going to look at the tier 2 level of guys that are out there. It's a coach from the Eagles that's just interviewing. So I think I'm at this point right now, I'm anybody but Gannon. and then just hopefully they just pick somebody that can put together a competent scheme. And you touched on it earlier. I think for the Cowboys, they got to get this safety and linebacker thing fixed. If they don't get that fixed with whatever scheme they're going with, we're just spitting in the wind.
Go ahead, Big Bird. I'm sorry.
This won't be long at all. One thing about Harbaugh making $20 million a year, it kind of sets the tone for what the rest of the staff is going to get paid. So if he's making $20 million a year, then I don't know what the defensive coordinator makes, but he's going to make probably one of the highest paid defensive coordinators.
The Giants gave him an unlimited budget.
Yeah, and so it's just going to trickle. The money going to trickle down, but the numbers are going to be higher. Yeah. So look at where the Cowboys starting at their head coach, and it trickles down at $4.5 million. And look, you have a small window of people that's going to even accept this job. And it starts because you didn't get a good enough coach, or you had a salary cap that you wanted to fit the head coach into, and so you had to go find whatever head coach is going to fit inside that salary, not a cap. I'm sorry, the salary structure, and so. So you're going to get like a $2 or $3 million coordinator. That's what you're going to get. Whatever it is, you're going to get a cheap guy. That's what it is. You're going to get the leftovers. That's basically whatever everybody else picked, whoever left over, and whoever the word is, desperate, who's ever desperate enough to come here.
So, chat, I think y'all, we done or y'all got some more? Y'all got some more?
I'm good either way.
I'm done.
Are you done? So
it's up to y'all.
I mean, I'm rolling, but just based off what you've heard tonight, chat, from Joe and B-Bird and myself, and even some of your comments in the chat, I think this is an important question. Here's the question. Has anything really changed? I mean, we were cheap the last 3-4 years. It seemed like we about to do the same thing again, even in the area of the coaching staff. I mean, did we go get the best? No. Well, it remains to be seen. I mean, what are we doing? I mean, they're the ones that said we got with the draft, the trade of Michael Parsons and all the things that came with it. I applaud them for getting Quentin Williams and Kenny Clark. I applaud them for that. Those were great moves. But they obviously are saying that we're going to get this thing done. And when I say this thing, I'm talking about a World's Championship. If you're talking about winning a World's Championship, you don't have much time. And there are certain things that you have to do in order to make this thing happen. And right now, I'm saying another hope, I'm saying another you hope that lightning strike with, tier 2 or 3 guys, and hope that the culture can fix this issue instead of making a culture. Everybody else stacking the deck. We still playing with we playing spades with no joker, no aces. We hoping that the queen get all the books.
Great analogy.
That's what we doing. We think
right.
The queen. All we got is queens and jacks. That's all we got in our hand. Ain't nobody got no king, no aces, no big joker, no little joker. And we going against organizations that got 2 or 3 jokers and aces everywhere, just running what we used to play. We played spades, just running the Boston on us. And I'm trying to figure out, like, what are you hoping for? I mean, there are certain things you got to do in order to get it done. For instance, like this, you got 2 or 3 windows. Pass rusher. The reason why the cornerbacks got 8 alive is because we didn't have no pass rush. Okay, forget Crosby. If y'all like Crosby, I like him too. I don't think they will trade the draft picks. I know they're gonna try to keep him. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But you're gonna have Trey Hendrickson just sitting there.
That's right.
You pair. They say, well, he's old. No, okay, he's not. Listen, you pair him with Quentin Williams and Kenny Clark and Osa and Izaraku and possibly Clowney, possibly. But just if you add that together, guess what you got? You probably got one of the best defensive lines in the game. It's just a common sense thing. That's what you do when you make a move. I know you might have a guy in the draft. The kid from Texas Tech might be there. Bain, I don't think Bain gonna last to 12. So, but you'll take the approach. Well, we got this kid Bailey from Texas Tech, and we got him under a rookie deal. 5 years. But you just got Izaraku, who led the nation in sacks at Boston College and came to the league and only got 2 sacks.
That's right.
Because the tackles in college are not the tackles in the NFL. So he didn't translate. He got better. We saw the pressures, but he didn't get the guys on the ground. Guess what? Are we finna go through that again? See, it's some positions that you don't have time to draft and develop now. Don't talk about I'm finna draft. Look, I love the kid from LSU. That's fine. But he a rookie. Go get me a veteran cornerback, please.
Yes, sir.
So I can go to war from the beginning instead of having a rookie getting picked on. I don't know if Bland is going to be right in his foot. I don't know that. You don't know that. I'm trying to figure out, like, let me just stop. Let's take care of the defensive coordinator position first. And we'll get to the free agency. We'll see how they roll and then take it from there. But right now, I'm seeing the same old movie. That's what I'm saying. That's just me. Y'all might see it differently in the chat. It is what it is. Go and give your final words, Joe. As we done. I get mad at you.
No, I think we're kind of all on point. So we'll just kind of see what happens over the next few days. And hopefully, they can figure this whole thing out, because I do have some hopium for the team and going forward, but man, they gotta
what's the hope, Joe? You can't leave me like that. What is the hope?
The hope is that
help me, because I need help.
So one of my son's coworkers said, if you just lock Jerry in the basement and put away the key, you got a chance. So what I'm hoping is over the next 3 or 4 weeks, they can just kind of put Jerry to the side. And they can move things in the right direction. You got Pickens, you got to sign. So you got some things that
who is agent, Joe?
Oh, we know who his agent is.
Wow.
You
know how that's gonna turn out, don't you already, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna just watch it and talk about it on our channels. I want to give Star a shout out. I think she reached 1,000 subscribers.
Oh yeah, congratulations.
So shout out to Star.
Yeah.
And I've been she and I have had a connection for pretty much the whole time, so big shout out to her. And awesome. We want to talk about our channel. So our channel is Father and Son Cowboys and Sportscast. You can go there and subscribe, and then you can follow me on Twitter at CowboyJoe64. And hey, coming out of this show tonight, this has been some good content, so hopefully B-Bird and I, we can get 10 or 15 new subscribers to our channel. And B-Bird is doing great things over there. And of course, big time, I've been following you for a long time. I've been looking at your rides during the week and just kind of following you, man. And it's all good content. But we're gonna look. I'll say this: if Jerry and Steven would just listen to our shows and some of the other content creators that do all the draft talk, he could really just watch our shows and turn this whole thing around, because I think we have some really, really good content. And we're going to be out here just making a difference and asking the tough questions. And we did it again tonight.
Wow. B-Bird.
Yeah, man. So this is a very important offseason for us. I mean, all of them are, but Dak's prime, and I've said this, our window is Dak Prescott. After he's gone, I don't know what's going to happen around here. I think our window will be closing. But I think what you have to do is you have to get as many good coaches and as many good players around at this point in time, the next 2 or 3 years. I'm a Max Crosby guy, but Trey Henderson is making a lot more sense to me now because you don't have to give it the draft capital to get him. But I just think that, man, if they hopefully Shotty can be involved in this. I need a football guy making this pick. I don't need it to be anything but football. I think he did a great job with his offensive staff, and if he can hire a defensive staff that comes in and does what the offensive staff did last year, then that'd be incredible. We also need new players too. So I think if we get this defense fixed, man, we get to like the 12th or 13th ranked defense in the league, man, we're gonna be cooking with gas with that offense. But it's just up to this front office to get out their own way, man, to allow the best player or best coach to be selected for this process, man. And we got some hindrances with them. They got some biases, I think, that's innately in them. And it gets in the way of them hiring the best. But I think Shotty, we need people that can lose their jobs to make these decisions. Shotty can lose his job, so he's gonna make that decision. The best one, he's gonna get the best person. But I want to just say in closing, man, big time, man, just appreciate everything you've done with this show, man. You're the quarterback of this show, man. And I remember watching you, man, and just really vibing with you and what you were saying. I said, you got a guy out here a little bit younger than me, but man, we were in the same age group, and it's just really good to talk to someone, in your own age group that's seen some things that you've seen. Me and Cowboy Joe the same way, man. It's just an honor to be on here with y'all, man. I do not take these moments for granted. It's just great to be a pleasure to be on with you guys, to share the stage with you guys. I just want to tell you I appreciate it.
Man, appreciate all you guys. Thank you all for you in the chat. Do me a favor and hit that like button. All of you guys that are on my channels, and if you're watching this later on, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to go to B-Bird's YouTube channel. I also need you to go to Cowboy Joe's channel, his father and son. Say that again, Cowboy Joe.
It's
father and son.
Yeah. It's Father and Son Cowboys and Sportscast. So I do a show with me and my son. And so it's Father and Son Cowboys and Sportscast.
Look that up on YouTube. And please go and subscribe to these channels here. B-Bird and Father and Son. Say it one more time, the last part.
Father and Son Cowboys and Sportscast.
Cowboys and Sportscast. Please go hit that subscribe button. Sorry we didn't put the links in here. We'll do better next time.
Yeah.
We'll have all that for you, and we'll have that for you. For those that follow me, always big time show family. Appreciate all you guys popping in, and we made the dedication. We said it during the season, but it's obvious that you guys like the show by the numbers, and so I guess we'll keep rolling until the wheels fall off.
Yes, sir.
So we'll be with you guys all during the off season. As we go through this. But here's the thing that I've done on my show, and I guess this is the angle that I'm going. Enough is enough, at least from my perspective. I'm too old now. And I've seen for years the consistency of the mediocrity in steps, I guess what I want to say. And so what I've been trying to do is, Cowboy Joe just said about the hopium, and this is where a lot of our fan base is, because we get excited because of the draft coming up and all that, and we thinking, especially free agency, and every year y'all get let down. I said y'all, I ain't say me. Y'all get let down because y'all think we going big fish hunting, and we never do. And then sooner or later, you got to accept the reality that the Cowboys don't do what the fan base wants done. So in closing, this is what I'm saying. When you got guys like Cowboy Joe and B-Bird and myself on here, it's a reason why we call ourselves the Cowboys OG, because we seen all the championships. We seen them all. Except me, I didn't see 1971. I didn't see 71. 72. I didn't see, 71. I didn't see 71 championship, but I saw all of them after that. Let me tell you, and B-Bird seen them all, Joe has seen them all. We know what the franchise is supposed to look like. We know championship franchises when we see them. We not there right now. And until the Cowboys do what it takes to get on these levels that we're talking about, I think I represent B-Bird and Cowboy Joe by showing y'all what Cowboys OG mean. I'm trying to get all of y'all to calm it down a little bit before y'all get y'all blood pressure shot through the roof. I'm trying to get y'all to calm down and do just like me, B-Bird and Cowboy. This is what we doing.
Yeah.
Wait and see. We ain't all this hope and all that. We know Jerry Jones. We know his patterns. We know Stephen Jones' pattern. We know Stephen Jones want to save the salary cap. We know Jerry Jones done kind of fell in. We know everybody's cheap. Jerry said it. Why should I pay for one player when I can pay 3 players? We know they like the World Football League. They're going to go get 2 guys out of there every year. They're not going to they're going to get the bottom of the barrel free agents. That's what we do. We don't go big game fishing. We don't want Rolls Royces. We want Honda Accords. That's what we do. And until I see a difference or a change, I'm going to let y'all get hyped.
That's it.
I'm going to let y'all get optimistic. I'm going to be pessimistic. I'm sorry. I done seen too much. And I dare the Cowboys, and I'm closing up through. I dare the Cowboys to change me. I dare you. I dare you to change me. I would love to get on this microphone and say, hey, y'all, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'm wrong. But until then, y'all have a good night. And as we close.
That's it.
Y'all have a good night.
All right, you too, fellas.